Hey everybody! Welcome to another episode of Defense of the Patients. We are a Dota 2 podcast. I'm Cyphus, that's Roland.
Hello.
And we're here to talk about Dota 2, because that's, like I said, Dota 2 podcast.
It's the only show that's branded that way, or it's like, hello and welcome to Defense of the Patients, a Dota 2 podcast.
This is the original show.
Yeah.
This is the one. This is where it all started.
This is where it all started.
And that branding, I feel like, is appropriate. Mm-hmm. I feel like for a long time we had to say that so that if anybody tuned in, they were
like, oh, this is about Dota. Okay,
okay.
I play that sometimes. Maybe I'll listen for a little while.
And it's just kind of stuck, For a little bit, I tried to say that we were a gaming podcast.
I know, I remember that.
It's like, fuck it.
It's like, no,
we're not.
No, the only games you play. I guess you could say we're a games podcast, like 2 games. You know what I mean?
2 games.
Yeah, we're an Elite Dangerous and Dota 2 podcast. No Elite Dangerous listeners, just Dota 2 listeners. Yeah. But I like to talk about Elite Dangerous.
Hey, I got defended on the Tuesday Q&A a little bit.
To be fair, Rick sent that question in like 3 weeks prior.
Yeah.
Or said he wanted to ask that question, so I wasn't caught by surprise.
Oh, damn.
When I read it the first time, though, it was really funny. Yeah. On the show, I may have
you just completely went past it and just answered it as though it were a question about Lifestealer.
Because I already had read it, and I already knew that, because you were saving it. You didn't want to...
No, I knew what he was going to do. I plugged it in the document as a Lifestealer build question, I think is what
I'm not going to tell you what Wivrix is going to ask you. And I was like, I know what he's going to ask me, but I'll play along. And it was one of those, Ricky, where it's like, there was a lot with Ricky back in the day where it's like you smoke clouded away from my life, like you away from my life, like you disappeared when I was a kid, like you
backstabbed me.
Yeah, like you backstabbed me on the podcast. Yeah, it's shit like that.
Yeah.
It was funny though. That was a fun Tuesday.
Speaking of the Tuesday Q&A, if you guys have questions for it, I like plugging it at the beginning of the show because I think some people probably tune out in the plugs, even though sometimes the plugs aren't the end, guys, if you're shutting them off, because rolling tangents.
Oh, man.
Like a madman.
On Proudland, it was like 22 minutes.
I know.
Of trying to close that show out.
I think it was Ursi who sent a tweet. He was like, my favorite thing about listening to a .p episode is when somebody says, okay, it's time to close the show, and I look down at the timer and see there's about 25 minutes left.
It does take a long time, and I've been stopping and emphasizing on certain things. Before we forget it, hold on.
Well, all right, the Tuesday Q&A. If you guys have questions for it, email us at defenseofthepatients@gmail.com. You can get your questions on that way. We are also going to be trying to give away Steam gift cards on every episode.
$20 every time.
I think we should start doing it live so that people see that it happens.
Well, the problem doing it live is I give the fucking code. No.
I mean, at least announce announce the winner, and then privately we'll hit up the winner after the fact, because they're all joining the Discord. So we do have a way to hit them up privately after the fact with the code. But yeah, for live call-ins, all you got to do is join the Discord, the .p Discord. That's discord.gg/.p. And shoot me a PM. I'm just at Cyphus on the Discord. Shoot me a PM and private message, and let me know your MMR and your question, and I will get you into what we call the waiting room there in the Discord to get on the show. I think that's it. I've been loving the Q&A, and it's fast becoming the more popular show on the network. So I'm thrilled.
And I'm totally listening, and I think it is becoming the fast becoming the popular one on the network.
And so now we got a new review.
No, we have an old review that apparently I skipped over.
No.
For you know how we say we'll always read your review.
Yeah.
Please leave an honest review. This one's by Bloody John Dolan. So this is me honoring that we'll always read your review no matter what. Okay. 5 stars. Thank you. No, this guy's actually, I get paired with him all the time because we're right around the same MMR.
Oh, yeah.
And so and now he's on my friends list. So when I go to Dota Buff, the only person that it shows that I've played with recently is Bloody John Dolan, or it's Bloody Leprechaun. I gave him a bunch of shit when we were doing the giveaway. I was like, oh, Bloody Leprechaun, I hate that fucking guy. Just joking around, kind of. I like him a lot better now because we've got a lot of games together and it's fun. Sometimes I'm against him, sometimes I'm on the same team with him. It's fun.
So it depends on whether or not you hate him or love him.
I don't know. He plays a mean Elder Titan. He plays a mean Lone Druid. He's been playing Viper. I've been Nethertoxining off on everybody. You know, they've been attacking me and then getting some Viper back on themselves. So
it's hard to get off, hard to wash off.
Yeah, it is hard to. It's hard to do. Bloody John Dolan, 5 stars. Not accurate to the Dota 2 experience. I've had 0 Spanish, and there's no one telling me my mom was easy. 0 out of 10. Needs more chill than Jordan. So a super inclusive review.
Yeah.
Some people might get that. Hopefully the majority of you don't. But yeah, I've been getting matched up with him. I get matched up with another guy named Wenwens. And you don't listen to this, Wenwens. That's okay. Shout out to you though. And he's like, so what does .p stand for? And I was like, oh, it stands for Defense of the Patients. I'm not like, hey everybody, I'm the Dota podcast guy. I just play, .p. Roland is my name. Whatever. If they ask, I'll tell them. And I just said Defense of the Patients. It's a community. And he's like, oh, cool. Like about what? It's like a podcast. Do you want to join? I didn't even say that I was on it or anything. I just said it's about a podcast. And it's a cool community.
Did you say a Dota 2 podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that was implied. I didn't say that, but I think that the implication.
I don't think it is.
Defense of the Patients, Defense of the Ancients, Dota.p.
You know what I'd love to know is how many people know that Dota stands for Defense of the Ancients.
Probably
especially
a lot.
With the I don't know. There are a lot of generation. There's a generation of players.
Maybe. That it's just Dota.
That it's just Dota. I mean, there are especially new players.
I remember hearing Andrew call it Dota, and I was like, "That's fucking lame, dude. Call it by its real name." And then of course, we're now a Dota 2 podcast. Of course, we're a Defense of the Ancient Stew podcast. So
I mean, it's definitely a little too much of a name, but
anyway, this Wenwens guy, I play with him all the time, and. We get to that point where we played enough. He adds me to the friends list. We've been against each other and been with each other. I'm playing Viper every time, and he points out, "Oh, you're a good Viper. Like you play Viper every time." I'm like, it's all you guys. It's not me. So long as people group and I get mech, like we win. Like that's just what happens. And it really isn't. Like it's pretty fucking easy to play Viper. Like Rowdy said, the skill cap stopped at 1K for Viper. Like you don't really get much better at Viper. Maybe positioning a little bit, but. I start telling him about this community that I'm a part of. And after like all this, I'm like, all right, yeah, and here, just go to discord.gg/.p. And he's like, you know what? For personal reasons, I'm going to have to decline.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa, okay. It was just like one of those, like, I'm sorry that podcasting offends you. Like, I literally did not say that I was a part of it or anything, which makes me wonder if he hadn't heard like, oh, it's that fucking podcast. Yeah, for personal reasons, I heard those guys are huge douchebags. I've got to decline. Yeah. It's nothing against you. It's against the people that are on the show. You're just a part of their stupid community. It was funny, and it was like on stream that this was happening, and I was like, yeah, dude, great. Come on in. There's tons of players around your skill. We'll have a blast. Because he's just a cool dude. Because I play at such a specific time, my MMR really hasn't changed much, so it's a specific range and a specific time. I get placed with like the same like 6 people every time I play. It's crazy, and we're all just like, oh hey, it's still the same MMR, huh? And it's like, yep, we're still like 3.6 to 3.7. No, nothing's changed. It's like, weird. Yeah, it's fun. Anyway, personal reasons. So can't join.
Next thing we got to plug is we are recording this on Sunday, but you're probably listening to it Monday. So you've missed the opportunity to come watch the .p Sunday stream, where every week, every Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern, me, Roland, Ursi, Proud, and the Grootster himself.
Croutons with my growled. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't, but I like it.
Oh, so fucking funny.
So we're going to all be forming a little 5-stack, and we're going to get going.
We haven't done it yet, so we don't even know if this is going to happen.
I don't know if it happened.
But you live in the future, so you can know whether or not we actually played these games. Who knows?
If we did, you can go to youtube.com/.ptv1, or you can go to twitch.com or twitch.tv.
Who's going to upload those to YouTube? I'm not.
It's really easy to go from Twitch to YouTube. That we can do immediately afterwards.
Okay.
I haven't done it yet with the Tuesday Q&A because the audio, we've had a couple of audio issues with the stream.
I was super quiet on the last one too. On the recording, I was not super quiet, but on the actual stream, I was super quiet.
That the stream.
I can fix all that. It's just if we just like tested it and like spent 2 minutes and was like, hey Danny,
what's
from
funny
your
is,
computer, how do I sound?
So I when I'm at home, and here in the studio, I wear the headphones. You have to wear the headphones on both ears. But when I'm at home listening to you guys, because I'm just producing that show, so I don't have to be in the studio. I don't have to do any of the recording nonsense. So I do the 1 year on, 1 year off. And so for the first 3 episodes that we've done on the stream, I had noticed that you apparently are only coming out of the left ear.
I fixed that. And you know what the fix was? It copy left to right. There's an option in XSplit where I was doing a stereo mix, and so it should come out of both ears. But when I stream, for whatever reason, it's only coming out of the left. So what I did is I went copy left ear to right ear. And so now you're just getting what would be playing your left ear in your right ear as well.
Oh, okay.
That was apparently the fix. I have no idea why.
It was just odd, yeah, because and of course I didn't notice because I only had the left ear on, so you sounded normal to me.
Yeah.
Okay, but that aside, we are going to do the stream, and we'll be doing it every Sunday at 5 p.m. EST. You can always check that afterwards. The goal being to, one, get all the show hosts together to play, and Grouty, with everybody who kind of does something public within the community.
Grumble.
And two, to kind of highlight team communication, because I think Proud's going to be captaining us, and it's going to be interesting to see. I played a little this week with Ursi to try to get my party MMR.
Didn't you climb more with me than you did with Ursi?
No, we about equal. Yeah, about equal. I even won a few games.
We had some
party
crazy
with
games. Oh man, we had some good games.
Yeah, I've had nothing but really good games lately.
I don't even remember what I was playing, but I just remember showing Wazoo up big time. Yeah. And him being like, you should play Morphling all the time. And I was like, dude, that's just one of my many heroes. Like, that's just my Morphling.
Yeah,
like,
he was having a really tough. I think he was ultra embarrassed that game because he took Ember mid, and didn't we look at him and he didn't do the spell amp?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to anything but myself, to be honest with you.
I did. I looked over at Ren and I was like, oh my god, this noob didn't go spell amp.
He probably had some justification. Like, I'm just going to go. I don't know what the other option is other than spell amp, but I'm sure it's worse than spell amp.
It's damage. And
is it like 90 damage, or is it like how much damage are we talking?
But the rule of thumb that I think everybody was living by, and I myself, like if you had put me on Ember before we had this discussion on the show like 2 weeks ago about the Magic Ember, and right as it was kind of starting to like really appear and bug everybody, I would have, because of my conversation with Proud, I would have I would have opted for the plus 20. I think it's plus 20 damage. I would have opted for the plus 20 damage every time. Just because that's kind of what everybody. That's kind of been the mentality for everybody.
He has 3 magical things.
No, for sure, it makes makes sense upon a closer inspection. But when you're in the heat of the moment in a match and you're hitting level 10, and if you're not a player who's sitting down and like looking at all those options and really, really thinking them through before you play a hero, if you're just hopping on that hero to play a game and you're doing kind of that quick in the game judgment, damage is almost always the case.
I take damage for Viper. It's 15 at level 10.
Yeah.
But I take it at level 11.
I take the damage for PA. I take the damage for
It makes more sense to take it at 11 because 11's my blank level. Because I only get 1 in Q for Viper. I don't get more than 1 until much later. I only need it for
11 is your blank level? Explain that to me.
I don't get an ult. I don't have an ult at 11. I have an ult at 12. So I do 1, 4, 4, 1. Okay. So at level 10. So I don't get my talent at level 10. I get my talent at level 11.
So you go 2, 4, 4, 1.
I go 1, 4, 4, 1. Talent 1, 4, 4, 2.
1,
skill
4,
tree.
4, 1 would be 10 levels.
Yeah, that's my 10th level. I do not get a skill, or I get a skill. I don't get a talent from my talent tree. I get a skill. I get my 4th level of Nethertoxin on Viper and Viper alone. I say it's worth more to get my 4th level, which I'm sure Fafnir is already writing a tweet out as we speak, obnoxiously pointing out the fact that it's less efficient.
No, I think a lot of people would
waiting till my 11th level. I don't give a fuck.
It's plus 15 damage.
It's 15 damage compared to a 4th level in Nethertoxin, and that I'm getting. It depends. Like sometimes I'll take it at level 10. But if I'm still laning against a dude who's wanting to trade right clicks with me, I'm going to get my 4th level in Nethertoxin, my 4th level in my E, and do a 1-4-4-1. Because it's like 15 damage. That's not what's going to kill him. What's going to kill him is my W and them missing health. And yes, 15 damage would help me get them to lower health quicker.
What kills them is your W.
I know. But I've maxed my W before my E. I do 1-4-3-1 at level 9. And then 1-4-4-1 at level 10.
I gotta pull it out. I gotta see what you're sacrificing. I'm not
15 damage or 175 health.
I'm not
or
saying
150
you're wrong.
health.
I'm totally not saying you're wrong.
I could be. I don't know the scaling on Nethertoxin. The E.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about. Is like what is the...
I feel like it goes from 20 damage to 25 damage.
No, so Nethertoxin is your W. That's the
that's the
bonus.
Corrosive skin.
Sorry.
That's what you're talking about. I get those confused. I do my W max every time.
here's what you're getting. You're getting an extra 5 attack slow on the enemy. You're getting an extra 5% move slow on the enemy. You're getting an extra 5% magic resistance. You're doing an extra 5 damage per second. And how long does the Nethertoxin last when they hit you?
I feel like they get 3 ticks. I feel like it would count for 15 damage. But the thing is, that's 15 damage on every right click and not ticking over time. So anyway, it's one level where I go without. It's probably not worth it, but it's like my thing that I do sometimes. I don't always do it.
I don't know. I would be tempted to say that 15 damage is maybe worth more.
It probably is. But it just depends. Like, I think of like a Quap lane where Quap is constantly like daggering me or
even
right clicking me.
Even on the magic resistance.
It's more about
5%.
like the slow. It's more about the slow, so I can just chase her down and she's taking damage. Because it's more about getting her to thresholds, right? Getting her below half, getting her below certain points, so my W kicks in. So corrosive skin kicks in.
And in order, even for that corrosive skin to block a comparable amount of health to what you would get going the health option.
I never go the health option.
But would be 625 damage of magic damage. You'd have to be dealt.
It'd be a ton. It's probably not worth it. It's just a thing. Somebody was like, and I think it's debunked for sure. And that's why I was like, please put down your phones. I know that I'm wrong. It's just something that I do. Like, there's no need to correct me here.
No, I don't know. I would say the damage, getting that damage early would be.
Every time I do it on stream, they're like, well, what? You didn't take a talent at level 10?
I mean, what? How much? Aren't Blades of Attack 20 damage?
Blades of phase boots are 24. I think Blades of Attack are like 10 each or 9 each. And so when you get phase boots, you get like 6 more damage than what the components are. I want to say a Blade of Attack is 9 damage. I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
And that phase boots are 24 damage. Which I don't go phase boots on Viper. I go treads on Viper. Which, hey, there's an idea that I just gave myself. Because phase boots actually make a ton of fucking sense.
So phase boots are plus 24 damage.
Nice.
And it's plus 9 on the Blades of Attack.
Nice. That was 2 out of 2 for me, dude.
I mean, that's
a memory right there.
You're getting roughly, let's see, so 6 more than that, 2/3. So 2/3
like a 500 gold.
No, you're getting like a 650 gold item.
Yeah.
By going that direction.
Oh, I know.
I would.
And on stream, like, people freak out, and every time I'm like, it's all good. I'll be level 11 soon enough, and trust me, I'll get the damage.
Actually, no, it's more like 700. It's about 700 gold. That worth of blades of attack that you could.
Because it's 2/3 of a blade of attack plus a blade of attack.
Yeah.
And 2/3 of 4 is like
420 divided by 3.
Oh god, like something big.
140, 280, 320. Yeah.
Okay,
the 280 plus 420 would be 700. Yep, I'm right. There we go.
Nice. Yeah, so I do that, and it's not like... Because when I did it, there's a guy, Dandris, that watches... He is also... I think he is from New Zealand. I want to say he's from New Zealand. So it's like when I'm streaming, which is usually super late at night, it's like afternoon or maybe late afternoon for him. So he's in there often, and he was the first one to be like, yo, do you know that you just didn't get a skill or you didn't get your talent at level 10?
I don't think you understand.
And I was like, yeah, I do.
I mean, but think about it, though. Like, that's basically you foregoing for a level 700 gold worth of an item.
Yeah, for sure. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. But
and for what you're getting, that extra 5% move slow.
But it feels good. Like, it's not worth it to, I'm not going to... driving. Like, it's not worth it to speed. Usually you're going to get there marginally earlier. But sometimes it just feels good. You know what I mean? It's not worth it to, it's like that type thing. Like, I know I'm doing something wrong, but I'm enjoying it while I'm doing it.
I wish I could look up easily what your base damage was at level 10, too, so we could see what kind of an increase that would be.
The base damage with Viper is like, it changes, right? Based on their health.
Yeah, but
and that's a big thing,
right? But even still, an extra 15
would get them lower,
that
quicker,
much lower, that faster to do more with your net.
The logic is there.
Yeah,
the logic is not lost on me.
I'm gonna go with that's the right move.
Probably is. It probably most definitely is the right move to go.
I would love to. I would love to see. I know we were asked this on Q&A a while back, and I guess I don't recall the answer. But about like any talents that were worth skipping in favor of a skill. I think.
Yeah. I'm sure there are some situations. You got to think of heroes though that like, so
You gotta
skills
think
are
of heroes that scale dumb good. Like, you know what I mean?
or dumb bad. So like bad
No,
scaling.
right. I'm thinking skills that scale super well, or yes, I guess talents that don't.
Yeah, well,
that are really
skills.
shitty.
Yeah, I guess skills that scale like really well. So Sven starts out with 100 damage stun, right? At level 1, his stun does 100 damage, but at level 2, it does 175 damage. So that would not be proportional scaling.
No, that's a set. Well, but it's
You're losing.
Yeah.
But then from there on, it does go up by 75 each time.
Yeah.
But its base does not. It doesn't double itself. From level 1 to level 2. And those are usually
but
the
a
ones.
75% increase. Is
Yeah, it's a
pretty
big
damn
one.
Good
It's a good one.
versus-
But the thing is, he has such other good spells too. Where that's why you were seeing for the longest time the 1-4-4-1 Sven. You would get 1 in stun, 4 in cleave, 4 in God strength, and then 1 in
Yeah,
one in
people are
ult.
still favoring cleave, aren't they?
I saw a Sven that went 4 in stun, and I was like baffled. I was just like,
I don't.
Why
I don't
do
think
you?
he'd ever favor stun. I could see favoring the armor. I guess.
You always.
I think cleave.
You always go.
makes more sense.
Well, you
I think
gotta be
cleave
careful
makes more
with
sense
cleave.
90% of the time.
I haven't played Sven one time in 7.0.
Really, I've been playing a lot of Sven. That's how I've been
I've just
getting
burnt
a lot of wins lately.
Dude, it just burnt me out. And I really relied on my like presence of mind with sacking. And sure, now it just requires the same amount of presence of mind.
If I see
But now Dom isn't a thing with him.
So there is a discussion I wanted to get into with you before too long into the show. But I guess on that front, I've been mostly playing core still.
Good.
But whenever
So you want to climb then, huh?
yeah, 100%. Although I've been doing more on the Smurf account lately, it's been still going.
That's how you're gonna
decently.
climb.
Yeah. But I basically pick up Sven anytime I see PL Chaos Knight.
Illusions.
Yeah, Luna's, anytime
Well,
I
with
see
an Echo
Luna's.
Saber, Luna is tough because, think of your core set. Well, I guess I'm thinking
I've
of
been
like
feeling good
6.88.
versus
She just builds Butterfly every fucking time.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like Sven's core set doesn't lend super well to an MKB in my experience. I feel like that means you don't get crit. Like it's either crit or MKB.
Yeah.
And you would rather have crit, but then crit is semi-unreliable against the Butterfly.
I guess with Luna, the thing I'm usually most worried about, because by the time a Luna's got to get off the hook.
It's
in
so
order
easy
to-
for her to get a Butterfly, dude. Like, by the time you have your Blink, and I'll just say Mask of Madness instead of Dom, because I guess that's what people are doing, but like Blink, Treads, Mask, Echo, she's got her Aki, she used to go Dom too.
See, and I favor
Aki, Lance, Treads.
against her because she's so squishy early on. I usually favor going the BKB against her with Sven.
Sure, and that's fine. So that's 5 slots
over the mask.
But you still are gonna get those items.
You're
gonna get some sort of lifesteal,
I'll do Echo. I'll do Echo Blink, and then go
Blink.
into
That's so crazy because I do Dom first, and like I needed it. I needed the regen from
against
Dom.
a Luna. Against a Luna, I would.
Where are you getting your life?
I'm not.
That's a problem.
Yeah,
That's a problem in
probably.
your build. You at least have to have a casual Morbid Mask, which they're 1200 now.
Yeah.
You probably got to go that in laning phase because when you pop on God Strength, that's what keeps you up is life stealing off
for
that.
sure. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
But honestly, I'm torn
I can't
whether
think
it's
of any
still
times really.
whether it's still Dom or because Dom still comes out to be 1800, even though
Right.
the mask
Yeah,
got
even though
more
mask got
expensive.
changed.
I think Mask of Madness is still the same cost at 1800 as well, right?
I don't remember.
Is it a 600 recipe with the 1200
I'll look
Morbid?
it up. Yeah, I don't remember.
I think they're still the same cost. I think they just made it more expensive to get generic lifesteal. I don't know. Whether you do that or not, by the time you get your 5th slot BKB, she's almost done with her Butterfly by her 5th slot. And then your 6th slot, you usually want that to be dedicated to crit, in my Sven experience. You want to jump in, you want a BKB, you want to stun, you want a God Strength, and you want to...
It's 1900 now for a Mask of Madness.
Okay, so 700 recipes, so a little bit more. I mean, that's just in my experience. And with Mask of Madness, there's a little more finesse because you have to blink in, ult, stun, Mask of Madness, BKB, right?
Yeah, all those.
There's like a lot of buttons to press in the right sequence.
Sven's win rate with Mask of Madness is appallingly low. Yeah.
That makes sense because he takes more damage. That item just...
But he also doesn't...
I don't like it.
I don't see... Wow, more Svens are building Vlads lately.
That's cool. I mean, that helps your team. That gives that gives armor. Although armor is semi-negligible on Sven because you just have a button that you press for armor. You're like, you need armor? Press E.
I mean, they're still building Dom as well, not as much as they're building, like...
I loved Dom, man. I used it throughout the entire game. I used it to stack, and then when I guess when the game...
3% differential over those. I wonder... I'm going to look up some guides real quick. I wonder what... I guess I
just burnt myself out. I couldn't play any more Sven. And although I completely agree with you on like Sven being super good against PL and CK, and if you're ever lucky enough to go up against the Broodmother.
Yeah, in fact, you know what most Svens are doing these days is they're going a last item Satanic.
Wow. Usually you would sell your Dom for heart. And you wouldn't even go Satanic with your Dominator. And I know now Dominator doesn't even build into Satanic.
Yeah, I don't even see... I see one guide when I look through these Sven guides of anybody picking up Dom.
It makes sense. It's hard. Ancients aren't super safe anymore. I guess one set of Ancients isn't super safe and the other is still just as safe. But Ancients never really were safe. And it's hard to stack them. And if you screw up a stack, you've screwed it up for 2 minutes instead of for 1 minute.
They're still picking up Dom. They're selling the Dom though. They're selling the Dom at some point. It looks like they're selling the Dom
for Satanic, I'd guess. Usually you get Satanic, rid of probably, Dom for 6th item. But I'm sure there's Daedalus still in there or Bloodthorn. Yeah. I know Bloodthorn. A lot of people are saying that Bloodthorn is the new Daedalus, but
and I'm seeing a lot of Bloodthorn Svens too, for sure.
Which it does more damage.
Well, it makes sense against some heroes, certain heroes, for sure.
Well, they just say that it's already crit, and it'll allow your whole team to crit that specific person, and it's almost as much damage, or more damage than Daedalus.
Yeah,
it adds more damage.
Okay, so tonight in the stream, when we get to this, and now everybody who's listening to this will know by the time this episode airs. But so I know I'm going to play a 5. I know that's how it's going to be. That's fine.
I can play 5. I play 5 all the time.
It's
boring.
I haven't been playing 5 lately.
It's especially going to be tough to play 5 for Proud. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
because he's demanding.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a terrible support after the little bit I played with Ursi, where I was like, all right, well, if I'm going to play with Ursi, I haven't been playing support in 7.0 at all. I should start running some supports. So I did a little Crystal Maiden. I did a little, let's see, what else?
Should go back to Lion.
Yeah.
Lion's like my favorite support to play.
Crystal Maiden, Venge. I can't think of anything. I can't think of the other. I didn't play Lich, but I could play
fucking
Lich.
Good.
Anyway, so I've been playing, more supports. And I feel like I'm a terrible support.
Why?
Because I haven't done it in a long time.
Well, what is hard to grasp about it?
I guess I feel like my rotations are useless most of the time. I'm trying to
So it's a
leave,
map presence issue?
Sure. I'm trying to leave the carry alone when it makes sense to leave the carry alone. I'm trying to rotate mid and make my presence known up there, and keep the mid on the toes. But yeah,
always have a TP and walk everywhere.
Sure. Yeah.
And that way you can be everywhere.
Sure.
Because you walk mid and it turns out it's not so good, but then safe lane's getting, dove.
Sure.
Bam.
That don't get me wrong. Like but regardless, it's not that I'm leaving. It's not that I'm leaving the carry and then the carry's getting dove and I'm not able to TP back in. It's that I'm leaving the carry and that lane's going about as fine as if I had been there. And I'm walking mid, and I'm not making things better for mid, or I'm going,
You're making things better for yourself because you're picking up bounties.
Sure, I can snag bounties
wards,
and shit.
You're buying sentries. You're literally
I just generally feel ineffective.
Sentries every game for sure. That's one thing I'm going to say.
It's just that I'm not used to. I mean, maybe I feel ineffective because I don't know. Maybe it's because
maybe it's because you're not killing something every 2 seconds.
And maybe that's what it is. And maybe it's just a complete, downshift in position, going from being in,
Well, it's no longer going to be
first.
like, Cyphus is super badass anymore. It's going to be, Cyphus helped this dude be super badass.
Yeah. And I get that.
It's not a job that I particularly love to do, but yeah, I don't want to play 5 for a team because fuck that. I want to win MMR and I'll play 5, but I don't care about winning with my team as much as I care about MMR.
No, I want to take these games seriously. I want to prove that we can do something.
I'll take it seriously, but I'm a way better core position.
I'd like to learn. I'd like to be able to hang.
I think everybody here would say, including Grumbo, we're all better cores than we are supports.
No, and don't get me wrong. Like when I guess more than anything too, whenever I got back into the support position, I was like, oh fuck, I have to think so much more.
Well, you have to look around more.
No, but I mean, there's
so the game you played, Crystal Maiden, I was playing Morph. That was the game that I went 20-2 with Morph and just totally...
Was I playing Maiden that game?
You were playing Maiden that game, and it was awesome. And I remember thinking it was awesome because it means I can waveform that much more often.
Yeah, but I don't want to, like, Jesus Christ, you want to talk about a flashback. I don't want to be the fucking mana bucket.
No, yeah. I just was noting, you picked Crystal Maiden. I didn't even ask you
for
to.
Sure.
And
it's just because I love
randomed
I do
Morphling.
love that hero.
I randomed Morphling, if you don't recall.
Yes, I do.
And so you're doing your thing, and you were pulling... And you pulled the hard camp, so you're sitting right. You were sitting more on their side of the lane equilibrium, but in the trees. You were closer to the enemy's creeps than you were to our creeps, and you were saying you were farming, if you recall correctly. And I was like, "What? I need your help." Like,
no,
I need your frostbite.
I was hanging in the trees because
I'm
using my fucking frostbite. Trust me, that's what you wanted that fucking Crystal Maiden to be doing.
And I was like, I need you here. I need you to just frostbite the Weaver. And so like that's what
we weren't gonna kill the Weaver. Like right?
We would have.
I don't know.
We would have one frostbite in a waveform, and I was getting all the levels.
But I only had a level 1 frostbite at that point. I don't think it was.
I just needed the Weaver.
Yeah,
in place.
I think what you.
I was an all Agimorph.
So my understanding from literally every Crystal Maiden video I've ever watched, from every bit of research I've ever tried to do with Crystal Maiden is. Even here in 7.0, you want the Crystal Maiden getting level 3, not interfering with you because Frostbite works so well.
So you're just going to say
creeps.
You're going to say no matter what, Crystal Maiden level 3.
I'm not going to say no matter what, but you and I have a way. I would rather delay and have a much better chance where I'm coming into lane level 3.
It ended up being
stealing
fine.
Your XP.
It ended up being fine
because you want me to be able to not just throw a Frostbite. You also want me to be able to throw a Nova.
I just wanted a frostbite for Weaver so I could catch him and then waveform through him. And then he would have died because he was way weak. He was like running around half health like an idiot. And I was like, dude, just come frostbite him real quick. And you're like, I'm farming.
Well, and I had just thrown a frostbite.
And I'll tell you that
well.
Proud will not have that. Like I was like, okay, whatever. And like went on and was like, I haven't missed the last hit yet. But Proud will be like, that's fucking not you. That's not what you do. Like, so...
No, I'm
just saying.
You bet your ass. Like if I'm playing Crystal Maiden, you're right. I'm gonna be in the fucking jungle. I'm gonna farm a medium camp, or maybe a hard camp if I get a lucky hard camp.
And the Weaver killed you.
Oh no,
remember when you were like super low, and I was like, you should go back. You should go back.
That was much later, not the same circumstance.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't
much later, not the same circumstance.
But it was like you were farming still, and you're like, oh, I'm fine. Yeah. I have got frostbite.
No,
and
I told you you're right.
It's like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Oh.
I didn't realize that Weaver was rotating over to our bounty rune.
You just got to think that like I'm the weakest dude in the world. Like everybody wants to kill me already when I'm full health. Sure. If I'm a sliver of a health, they're going to dive for me.
Sure,
But
no. Regardless, I still think the better thing for the first few levels with Crystal is to get up. To get the mana regen up, or at least I like to get the mana regen up first and foremost because it's beneficial for me.
I think it's 1-1-1.
Yeah, I like 1-1-1, and then I'll do a frostbite the rest of the way usually.
Oh yeah, I think 2 in mana. I think you do 1-1-2 and then 1-2-2 and then 1-3-2 and then 1-4-2. Well, ult in there as well, but
yeah, ult is totally a feel thing. I think with Crystal, it's
I think it's always good. Always should get it at level 6.
Yeah, I disagree. I think it's a feel thing. I think it's when am I going to?
But if the circumstance presents itself and you don't have it, then you don't have it. It's like basically NRA telling you why you should have a gun. It's
but
like,
more
if a
often
burglar
than not-
breaks in, you should have a gun. It's better to have a gun than
It
not.
depends on the mana pool.
I'm going to use their...
It depends. No, 100%. It depends on the mana pool and how mana is going for you that game. Because if you, I won't snag it. Sometimes I'll snag it at 6. Sometimes I'll snag it at 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way through. Like it varies.
Well, for somebody who doesn't play support a lot, you sure have a lot of opinions on how
I played
supports
Crystal
play.
Maiden a fuckload. Like not that much has changed about her.
Well, yes, it has.
Not that much has changed about her.
I would say getting her ult at level 6 has changed about her.
It still depends on mana pool because that
Like how much you've been farming the jungle or not? Like, is that what it depends on?
No, it depends on. Well,
we have shrines.
Yes, actually,
go hit a shrine.
No, the better I am, the more farm I have in the jungle, the higher level I've managed to get. Like depending on timing in the game too, is another huge thing. If I'm going to be throwing out frostbites, if that's primarily what I'm going to be doing, and trying to follow up with a Crystal Nova for you to use the carry to get a kill, or for you as the carry to survive, if I'm throwing out those types of spells, I likely don't have the mana pool to ever support an ult. So at that point, I've wasted that when I could have grabbed another point in the mana.
280 or 400? 400,
it's 200, 400, 600.
Oh, 200, 400, 600.
And when you get it at level...
Frostbite's 120?
Yeah. And when you get it at level... But her mana pool is fucking tiny. Mm-hmm. It's not...
I know.
It feels bigger.
I played Crystal
but it's
Maiden a ton of times.
That's my point, though, is that if I don't get... If I don't have the mana pool to support it,
but like
or if it's
Void's
unlikely...
mana pool is super low, and it's like, oh, dude, there's no way I could support a Chrono. I've been time walking so much, I'm not gonna get. I'm not gonna get
apples and oranges.
I'm comparing Chronos and
you're comparing Chronos and Freezing Field,
or Crystal Field.
Maybe
Crystal Nova Field.
I'll look up the goddamn. I shouldn't.
It's called Freezing Field. Freezing Field.
I hate names. I hate skill names.
It's especially hard when you try and cast and you're like, you know that thing that Pugna puts on the ground that but when you do the magic to it? And they're like, yeah, I know that. I know that thing. It's like searching for something quickly in my brain doesn't happen quickly in my brain.
Crystal Nova, Frostbite, Arcane Aura, Freezing Field. Yeah, I was right.
I said Freezing Field last, so.
No, I don't think that matters.
Yeah, I would say that ults you get.
I have usually been grabbing it. I'm more arguing to the point that like there are reasons to not grab it.
So you're at 0 mana and you're turning level 6 and you're like, no, I'm not going to get it because I have 0 mana right now. Even though I could go home and get mana, or go to a shrine and get mana,
sometimes, yes,
get a clarity ferried out and get full mana in like 2 seconds.
Sometimes it's not.
It shouldn't be the state of what your mana is dictating what you're going to get.
And it's not even. It's not just that. It's not that. I'm not that person. Jesus Christ.
I didn't know there was. I didn't know there was.
There is that person. There is that person who, and I think it's a bad person to be. Whenever you pick up, like, especially with talents, I think this is where it's more highlighted than ever.
Yeah.
When people pick up
need
talents,
a talent right now.
I need that talent right now.
Like sniper on low mana is what I think of at level 10, where it's like, I need mana right now, 2.2 mana regen, sweet.
Right.
And it's like not even mana right now. It's mana like over the next 50 seconds you'll get 100 mana.
Right. Yeah. And that's more what I'm talking about. Is like, but so with Freezing Field, I think it has a lot to do with how effective do I think I can be with Freezing Field at this point in the game.
Just like a gun, dude. If you don't have it, it's you're going to regret that you didn't. You should always have a gun, because if you don't have one, you're going to regret it. Trust me.
So what are you going to play? Are you going to play the 4? Or are you going to argue for the 3?
I don't. Honestly, I'm going to play the mute everybody and play like jungle or something, because listening to Ursi and Proud and then to have some Gruton in there
Ursi's
as well.
Not incredibly talkative, and honestly, it was so funny playing with Ursi the other day, because I felt like we were both kind of quiet on the mic with one another. It was honestly a little strange. I was like, I remember thinking actively about.
I'm sure I'm going to get criticized a lot.
I feel like
I'll say that right now, that we haven't even played the games.
I'll get criticized the most, for sure.
I'm going to be the number 1 most criticized.
You'll only get criticized when you're vocal about it.
No, Growdy, I don't get vocal about it. You do. You're the crusader. You're the one that defends every little thing you do.
I've told
It's
you.
okay. I like you still, dude. You're still a good person. It's like it's nothing to get mad about.
I thought the Crusader had to do with people's attitudes in the game. You're not going to hear me
people,
talk.
It's people's attitudes
Oh,
and
You're not gonna hear
how
me
much
talk
worse
at all.
they are than you.
My prediction is I will be the most quiet throughout this entire
My
process.
prediction is you will be second most quiet. Grouty will be first most quiet. Grouty will get second most shit. I will get first most shit. You'll get third most shit. And Ursi and Proud will never get shit because they're just too good to get shit. Because they're 5K. I mean, they literally don't do anything wrong in the game ever.
I hear both of them acknowledge every time they fuck something
No,
up.
they don't. I mean, they're 5K. That's why they're
fuck
5K. It's because they don't do anything wrong ever.
No,
So,
I don't know. All right, we got to end this because we got to go.
dude, we're
It's
only
already
40 minutes in.
Oh, you're shitting me. Well, I mean, it's 20 minutes for me to get back. Let's see. We're supposed to start this.
Well, let's try and do the plugs and see how long that takes.
So you guys
get your ult at level 6 no matter what it is. It's good.
Yeah,
It's
we'll see.
better to have it. I don't even own a gun in real life, but I still get my quote unquote gun in every time I play
sure.
Dota. So get your ults.
Whatever.
Who would be the exception? Maybe Lone Druid.
Medusa.
No, Medusa. You get it at level 6. I get it
Oh
at
no,
level
I mean,
6.
but like subsequent levels.
Maybe skipping it. I don't know. I get it at level 6, and level 12, and level 18. So
Yeah, I don't always.
at level 18, you're forced to get it
Yeah,
now.
yeah, that's true.
But at level 12, I guess you have a choice.
Yeah, at level 12, I usually skip it.
I mean, for what?
I usually
Split
get my
arrow?
last two.
If you're skipping second level ult Medusa for split arrow.
So what I
then-
usually do is I usually make sure that I have obviously snake max first, snag every talent along the way.
One talent.
Max
You've
mana
had
shield.
one talent. Okay.
Max mana shield.
You can do all of that.
1 point in ult, and then get up to 3 points in split shot, and then I'll go the ult.
That should be like your last thing. Trust me, coming from
3 points in split shot.
that should be the last thing you do. Like I don't even get a value point.
I mean, you don't even get a value point. I
Not-
grab well, not early. No, not.
I don't
early.
get it until after probably ult 2 that I get even a level in split shot.
No, I'll do a point into split shot before ult 2.
I just don't. I mean,
For
unless
farming,
there's a warlock.
for increased farming
Unless there's
purposes.
a warlock. It's very rarely are you
It's
going to be
nice-
last hitting 2 creeps at the same time.
When you're farming through the jungle and rotating between lanes, like if you're not taking advantage of jungle with Dusa, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Especially if you can get a stack on a jungle camp and toss a snake into it.
I don't even know what a stack means anymore. I haven't seen stacks in ages. I don't think they exist.
You don't stack for yourself?
No.
Yeah.
I literally...
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. I literally, it's rare. Like, there's this Sven we were watching
Dude, I'm always pinging people, telling people to fucking stack.
I never stack. It's
are you being serious?
I'm serious. Like, they did this every other minute thing, and it was like, whoa, like, way too much for me to
can't
handle.
tell odd even? It's
Yes, I
odd
can
even.
tell odd even.
That's all you gotta do. Is it odd? Stack.
Yeah, no shit, dude. I know if it's like, if it's
You pay attention to
if
even,
it's 236.
You were paying attention to even
Yeah,
minutes.
but if it's
beforehand.
if it's 236, I know, okay, here in 10 seconds or so, I want to pay attention to stacking this. I'm not saying I haven't stacked. I'm just saying that my stacking is, it used to be like, mwah,
Yeah,
and now
sure.
it's like
Okay.
down the fucking
But
gutter.
no, I mean, my point with Dusa being, like, in fact, it's nice to have 3. It's nice to have 2 points in split shot to be able to hit 3 targets for hitting
I'd just
through
rather
jungle
snake
camps.
it down and have damage.
But snaking it down is inefficient unless you've got a stack. With I think, maybe with every neutral creep camp. As far as, like, what you're getting on the mana return.
Most creeps have mana. You're going to get your mana back from your snake.
No, you're not on just 3 creeps.
Well, what 3 creeps are we talking? If there's a pink satyr, yeah, I am.
I don't think so.
Very close. And I have regen. Like, it's going to be... Oh, man, you just want to argue, and you're going to be the most quiet?
Yeah, I'm going to argue with you.
Yeah. Why? I am your superior. Okay?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And here it comes.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
No, I know it's inefficient. I guarantee you.
Well,
Somebody said
If you want to borrow some of my 1400 MMR to figure that out, you can have it, dude.
I need somebody with just 10 points higher MMR than Roland to write into the show.
There's a lot of people that are way higher than me still.
Just let him know. Let him know about the inefficiencies of snaking those. I'm not saying that the damage.
You
is
usually
good.
have plenty of mana, and despite Proud being like, it's stupid to get 500 mana on Medusa from her talent
I
tree,
think
giving
he's
you
since
1100.
he's since reversed
No,
that.
he has not.
What?
Thus giving you 1150 HP. His point is, what are you going to do with all that EHP if you're doing no damage? And I'm like, survive and like get more
build
damage items.
Yeah, no,
but that's okay.
I do that every time.
Yeah, of course. I get the int and the mana. Because there's an int. There's like plus 10 int.
God, it's funny you said that. Like, I played Dusa last night. I ran Dusa mid, and I got there, and I had that, like, thought, like, oh, like, what do I...
No, it's like, no, I'd rather, like, throw snakes all the time. It's like, you already can. It's like, well, I'd rather throw them more often than I even can then. You know what I mean?
What's the alternative there? Isn't it damage?
It's... I think there's an evasion one, too.
Yeah, it's 15 damage or 10 int. And the win rate difference between those two is pretty dismal. Like, it's a 1% difference for the damage. The damage has a 1% higher win rate. So it's not that, like, you know what I mean? It's
get the 10 int because it's 120 mana, which turns out to be something like 500 EHP or something like that.
You're doing more damage on the snake too.
You're living longer for more right clicks is the way I look at it. I don't know.
Yeah. I still usually favor the damage.
Could be
there. And last night, even though I had that thought about grabbing the int, I took the
Could
damage.
be the wrong way to look at things.
Okay, if you guys want to find us, we're at defenseofthepatients.com. Tweet at us at @p_show. Tune into the Twitch at twitch.tv/.ptv. Tonight to watch
at 9 p.m.
Monday,
Eastern.
9 Eastern. Watch the Tuesday Q&A. Go live.
Call in, ask questions.
And all you got to do is go to discord.gg/.p to do that.
I don't know if I read this other iTunes review either. I'm pretty sure. Do you remember one that said, keep it up, gents? At the very end?
Nope.
I feel like I would have remembered that.
Maybe.
I'm going to go ahead and read this one twice then.
All right, read it.
Okay. This is our newest one. It's Dota on the Daily by Bored Chemist.
No, don't think we've read that one.
Okay.
I don't
That's
even
what
think
I
I've
thought.
heard this one.
These guys are awesome. You can tell they all work hard to put out great content. They are the only Dota podcast putting out quality content consistently, whether it's Proud hating on everyone's build, Roland yelling over everyone how much insert hero here is OP, Ursi explaining the intricacies of K-pop, or Cyphus trying to convince us that Elite Dangerous is a good game.
It is.
Every episode will make you laugh and give you some insight into the Dota 2 world. Keep it up, gents.
Thank you, sir.
You say gents.
Yeah, I say gents. I like gents.
Because you like gents in your mouth, my friend.
We almost made it through. So close.
I probably can't say it. It's my buddy, and I was getting it.
You can make homoerotic jokes with me.
And genitals isn't mutually male exclusive. That's what I was going for.
I see where you went with that.
Yeah.
Gents is the new genitals.
Yeah, like a shortened genitals. Like you like gents in your mouth, dude.
Bring them all on.
Yeah, and I think, any type of, that's not, at first I was like, you sexist pig, but no.
No, everybody's got genitals.
Whatever you identify as, you probably got some gents. So,
Gents.
and they're...
Well, you invented a new shorthand for genitals on this episode.
Yes, I did.
I'm going to call that a success.
Nice.
You can also hit us up on youtube.com/.ptv1, and you can see our YouTube videos there. You can see, of course, the Sunday stream session that I'm going to rush home and sit down on my computer and pray to God I'm not, more than 5 or 10 minutes late for at this point.
You're fine.
Yeah, I think that's it, right? Is there anything else? defensivepatients@gmail.com. You can email questions if I didn't hit that one. Find us on Facebook. Give us a like there. We're trying to focus more on focus more on Facebook. I lost sound in my headset, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Did you get it back?
Yeah, it's back. Yeah, that's got to be it, right? Reddit.
Patreon.
Our Defense of the
You
Patients.
guys, the Patreon is awesome. You guys are great. We're getting more and more of these.
We were just shy of the goal, and somebody donated $1 to try to to try to get it there today.
Oh man, okay.
We were like $3 short, and somebody put in $1.
Oh no, we're not $3 short anymore. We're $7 over. So we hit our first goal of $250 a month. We're at $257. But we decided that we were going to flip-flop on what we said.
No,
and we have a Kellyanne Conway coming out that said we never intended on doing 2 episodes for $250 a month. It was actually $500 a month.
Those were alternative Patreon goals.
Yeah, those are alternative. Yeah, and then all of a sudden 1984 went crazy.
We got to start. So we need to this week. You and I need to plan on when we're going to get together to do the bonus Patreon specific podcast. So it's not too late to donate if you want to donate. Hell, as much as $1, it'd give you
access. What's the $500 goal get you? A 6-hour weekend marathon. Prepare for Roland's thoughts on PvE and Dota 2. That's changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Ursi second guessing all of your item choices.
That hasn't changed at all.
Or a member that is no longer a member of Defense of the Patients doing stuff. We got to change that.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll change all that soon.
Yeah.
All right, folks. I think that's going to do it for us. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to check out the stream. Remember to tune in to Tuesday Q&A tonight. And until next time.
It's a blast.
This is Cyphus for Roland saying good luck, Godspeed.